welcome back to our new podcast. If you want more this podcast videos, the links are in description. Basically, I had covered with many software engineers who are currently placed at even small startups and in FANGs only. Today we're gonna discuss something different. Bhaiya, let's start with a brief introduction.
Okay. Thanks, Arav, for having me here. I am Debapratim. I am a 2021 software engineer. I started my software engineering journey in 2021. I also graduated in 2021 as a CS engineer from Heritage Institute of Technology, Kolkata, which was a third tier college, which is now a second tier college. And yeah, I am currently working at Amazon. That is my first company. I also did an internship there during my fourth year. Uh, it was a 6 month internship during my last semester, post which I have been converted to a full time software development engineer. And ever since, it's been around 1 year. I joined sometime in August 2021. So it's been around 1 year. I've been working at Amazon only. And yeah, that is a brief introduction of me on the professional side.
How's you feeling working in a good FANG company, Amazon? It's like a huge.
Yes, to be honest, it's a dream come true, at least for people who do not get to study in top IITs or NITs. Uh, the expectation is not set so high when you enter your college, and having that expectation, if you manage to crack something that is so decent, then it gives you a level of confidence, and it also elevates your career to a new level. Not only from the package point of view, but you also get to learn a lot of points of software development. You get to see how software development actually works. You get to work with the brilliant minds in the industry, and that, of course, is a achievement that is unspeakable. So yeah, it has been a very great 1 year, 1.5 year to count the internship. I've met with a lot of great people, worked on a lot of interesting projects and stuff. And yeah, it has been a journey worth remembering right now.
So, how was the culture at your college? Like, are you concerned with coding and all programming, or you can tell?
Okay. So the coding culture was like, I mean, of course, we had limited workshops and stuffs and things like that. But what we did, at least a few friend circles and things like there is something called Association of Computing Machinery. It's a worldwide organization. So we had one chapter of ACM in our college. Okay. I mean, ACM is a worldwide body. Any college can actually apply to them and open a chapter for their own college. So my college actually had one ACM chapter, and we also developed something called a CODECHEF code chapter. Okay, so these things were actually very helpful in building up the coding culture in our college. We had very helpful professors and a very great HOD of the CS department who actually helped us setting up these things and stuff. And of course, these are like global brands and stuff. And once you get a chapter in your college, it's a pretty big deal. So and it also helps like bring in young minds from first and second year to like okay, you get to know, okay, so this is something big. If I go into it, this will actually benefit me and my career. So as speaking of my college, we had this ACM chapter, Google Code Chef chapter, and more recently the GDC, Google Development Circle. And what we tried to do there was we tried to build up the coding fundamentals from a ground up level. Okay, so what do I mean by that? See, there is a very common misconception among students, especially in engineering college, that coding is very tough and you only need very sharp minds to do it and stuff. Uh, Yes. So the first thing is debunking that myth. Okay. You need to actually tell your students and juniors and stuff that, okay, if you put in a little thought and effort, this can be done. So that is the first step of building the coding culture. Second step is actually putting it in a competitive nature. Like say, for example, within your circle or within your batchmates or within your friend circle, even, you need to have a competitive culture that, okay, say, for example, I'm just taking CodeChef as an example. Say, for example, I built a 3-star rating on CodeChef. Okay. Now my friend would get motivated by that and he would go ahead and work harder and get a 4-star. And then next time I would try to top that. So like that, it's like a competitive nature. And that helps you actually build up the coding fundamentals and also enjoy it in a way, which is essential.
So, being from a tier 3 college, we can say that your college provides your best package of coding and helps you a lot in your placements and all.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, of course, you cannot compare it to an IIT or NIT, but
Yes.
based on whatever infrastructure and reach we had, we got the best of all opportunities we could possibly get.
Did you
Yeah, that was a good point.
did you expected a proper placement from your college only, or you had tried up on off campus or anything else?
So, to be very honest, I mean, we did expect placements from college campus placements, but they were, of course, not as lucrative as the FANG offers, as you mentioned.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, getting into the college, we knew that there were some, we would get, if we worked hard, we would get some basic offers and stuff like that. And that would be actually not, it's not the worst of things, right? I mean, you need to start from somewhere, and that is not the
Yes.
end of your anyway. I've seen a lot of people go into small companies and then shift into fangs or good startups and stuff. But yeah, I had that expectation that okay, I would work hard, I would get placed in a decent place, and then work my way up and so on. But yeah, I mean, in fact, our college only provided a lot of opportunities. Our placement cell provided details around off-campus placements and stuff, and that actually helped us a lot.
So, what's about the preparation? Like, you can suggest any of the platform in which you had prepared.
Okay, so uh, see, firstly, when I applied and got the link for the online assessment is pretty basic, and I would say that is similar for most of the companies. You just have to have some MCQ questions answered and one or two basic coding questions where you need to pass all test cases. So, I mean, that is very generic. You can find it anywhere on the net. After that, when you receive the actual interview call and made to prepare for the interview, that is when the real thing begins actually. So what helped me was actually studying the Geek for Geek archives. So if you go to Geeks for Geeks and search in Amazon interview previous year questions or whatever company, X company interview questions, they will give a large list of archives where students or people from earlier will share their interview experience. They will share like precise details of whatever happened, how they got the interview call, what were the questions asked, how the interviewers were like, how the discussion happened, and everything. And that actually helps you understand, okay, this is how the environment is going to be like, this is what you're expected to do, and stuff. Okay, so yeah, I mean, there's in Geeks for Geeks actually helped me. The archives actually painted a brilliant picture of me for the interviews, and I prepared from that mostly. And of course, coding questions from CodeChef, Lead Code.
So, if anyone is new at coding culture, so what
Mm.
would you prefer? Like, if he or she wants to take any of the premium subscription of any sites or anything, any app?
Mhm. So, see, premium subscription I'm not sure about, but what I would recommend is there are a lot
Yes.
of courses on Udemy, paid courses, of course, based on data structures and algorithms, right? So, there is this common misconception that I have seen, especially among my juniors during my final year in college, that people with no knowledge of data structures and algorithm dive right into competitive coding. Why?
Yes.
Because they see, okay, this is what companies are asking, this is what my friends are doing. So there is a sort of FOMO happening. So they
Yes.
dive
Yes.
right into code chef and lead code, right? So that is not the right way to go. Okay, because in code forces, code chef, lead code, wherever you code on, it's all the same. You need to have a basic understanding of the building blocks. So for that, I would recommend. See, books are mostly outdated. These things keep on evolving year to year, right? Technology, you know. So I would recommend Udemy courses on data structures and algorithms. Okay, there are some brilliant courses out there. I have myself tried a few. And they will like help you understand irrespective of what language you prefer about the basic building blocks, right? Things like what is a linked list, what is a queue, what is a graph, tree,
Yes. Yes.
okay,
Yes.
these types of things. They will help you get a clearer grasp on them. And once you have a grasp on them, that is when you are able to actually go into a site that has some competitive coding questions and actually put those to application. So that is very important, I would believe, to build the basic building blocks. And then you can go to any question, you'll see, okay, this is the question, this is what is expected of me. So, okay, I'll use a queue here. So that linking needs to be there from the building block to the question. So
Yes,
if you
yes.
go back to the question, you'll see, okay, how do I do this? What do I use? Right. So that I feel is very important. That is where I would recommend everyone to start.
And after DSA, like क्या कर सकते हैं projects वगैरह के बारे में?
Right. This actually depends a lot on your college. Basically, we were fortunate enough to have professors who would recommend good projects and stuff. I would recommend people in engineering to talk to their head of department, or even if they are not in the CS branch, go to the CS branch and talk to their head of department and their faculty, and they will have probably published papers and stuff like that. They will have connections with professors from different colleges and stuff, and they can recommend you what is currently happening in the market. They can maybe even set you up with some professor who is doing some research and needs some grad students to help them out in some way. And I think that is the very helpful stuff to connect with your uh, senior faculty, especially. They will give you a very good idea of projects. That is part one. Second part is, of course, online. You can reach out to people who do open source work. Okay,
Yes, yes.
LinkedIn is the perfect platform for that. Open source work and stuff like this. They will actually tell you about what is in demand today and what sort of projects you can build. In fact, if you just Google top in demand projects as of now, you will get a list of projects. You can tweak them to a certain extent and start building on them. So yeah, two approaches. Either go to your professors and they'll help you out in some academic way. This depends upon college to college. I won't comment too much on that. And second, of course, is online.
If we talk about internships and also, did that DSA part needs to be decreased in the coding interviews of internships?
I would say not, because if you are asking about how interviews should be conducted, then I would say that DSA is a very crucial part of interviews. Why I would say that is because you go to an interview, right? You sit there, someone asks you a question you haven't seen earlier, probably, and you are made to solve it. So that actually tests your skills of how you can think on your feet. Okay. What I mean by that is like think instantaneously, something you haven't seen before. Like if you are being made to talk about your projects, you will have studied those, you have in-depth knowledge of them, you can able to present very nicely. Okay, but when you are presented with such a question, that actually tests your ability to think on the fly and implement on the fly, and that is something that is actually required when you actually get to work for companies like Amazon and stuff. In day-to-day life, of course, you do not work with data structures and algorithms, but it's like more about that attitude of getting to think on your feet. Okay, so that actually helps a lot in your day-to-day tasks.
So, what's about your future plans now after being placed here? So, did you think about more or anything else?
Yeah, I'm currently enjoying my life at Amazon. There are a few other avenues I'm like trying. See, I just got placed in 2021, right? It's been just 1 year. It's a smooth sailing till now. COVID and all lifted, being back to office, that's a different feeling and stuff. Uh, yeah, right now I'm thinking on taking a look at different things like maybe content creation. Uh,
Ah,
yes.
this is the
Uh,
most specific question I used to ask on every podcast, like every software engineer.
Right, right, right. So I don't want to like create. I mean, there are lots of videos on how people get into Fang and coding cultures and stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, I have not yet decided upon my niche. It'll take some time. So that is one area I'm thinking in. Professionally, yeah, I'm pretty content right now. Not looking for anything extraordinary right now. I'm pretty happy with where I am. I'm going to work with nice people and nice projects and stuff. Yeah, personally, few hobbies and stuff I have planned. Let's see.
Okay, thank you yeah, for your time. It's a great learning from you.
Thank you. It's nice talking to you.
Okay, have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.
Best of luck.
Bye.